Hello and welcome back to the top tiers. Today we're looking at the DMRs and LMGs of CoD Ghosts. First, we'll start off with the DMRs. In number 4, we have the MK14. And the MK14 was a pretty good gun. It had the highest bullet damage of all the DMRs, and its range was pretty decent. But it had a relatively slow fire rate, and the magazine capacity wasn't as great as some of the other DMRs in the game. Like all the other DMRs, it did come with a scope built in, and you could attach the iron sights attachment. And the iron sights, if you did decide to do that, to try to make it more of an assault rifle than a DMR, were horrendous. Number 3, we have the SVU. The SVU was good. It had the longest range of all the DMRs, a somewhat slow fire rate, and a decently high damage. But it wasn't as good as some of the other DMRs that we'll get to in a second, and for that reason is because accuracy. And even at the longest of ranges, if you start trying to hit some long-range shots, it gets hard to do that because for some reason there seemed to be a little bit of bullet spread. I don't know if it was just me who noticed that, but it seemed to be a little bit of spread, even though you were aiming down sights, which is strange. I just really didn't like this gun, so that's why I said number 3. Number 2, we have the IA-2. This gun was good. It was all around good. It was average in every stat, but that made it good gun. It had nothing that really excelled at, but nothing that it was terrible at either. So it was good in almost any situation where you needed the DMR. Number 1, we have the MR28. The MR28 is my personal favorite DMR, and in my opinion, the best one. It had the highest fire rate of all the DMRs in semi-automatic, and you could equip the burst attachment to make it even better. It had a pretty decent damage, if not somewhat low for the DMRs, high accuracy, moderate range. It was just a very good gun because you could use it as a DMR, or if you are forced into close combat, it functioned as an assault rifle as well because of that relatively decent fire rate. And that's all for the DMRs. Now on to the LMGs. First, we have the M27 IAR, and the M27 was okay. It wasn't too bad. It once again was just an average LMG. Sorry, it was okay. It was average, so that's why it's at number 4. It wasn't special in any way. It was forgettable. Number 3, we have the Amelie. The Amelie did high damage, pretty good accuracy, and relatively low recoil at the cost of fire rate. So that means you couldn't put as many bullets downrange as fast as some of the other LMGs, giving it a kind of a handicap. But if you wanted something that could hit hard and accurately, this was the LMG for that. Number 2, we have the Chainsaw. The Chainsaw was a hip-fire-only, belt-fed LMG, and with the built-in laser sight, it allowed for more precise hip-fire firing. This thing had an insanely fast fire rate. The reload time was a little bit long, but with that fire rate and the average, somewhat low damage of the Chainsaw, you can melt people with this thing. It would shred people easily. Number 1, we have the LSAT. And the LSAT was the best LMG in all of the LMGs. Had a decent fire rate, pretty high damage, decent range, and for a LMG, it actually had surprisingly good accuracy. So all around, it was just a great gun. The reload time wasn't even too long. It was a great gun all around. And that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And since it is Friday, remember, we are doing 2 videos today. This one, and then one other one that will be coming out at about 3 o'clock, I think. I'll have to see. I'm not sure. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you here on the top tiers.